can't handle him. I can't share a mic. He's got to be muted. So what would QuickyBaby do? He would mute himself as a commander in World of Tanks within the first 5 seconds of the battle. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are you all doing? It is Friday, and I am getting ready for a full weekend of World of Tanks, starting it off today with a battle in the ST2 where winning is everything, or I'm going to do absolutely everything I can to be able to win this battle. Now, there are some games, you could say that surely you're doing everything that you can to win in every battle that you play in World of Tanks, sure. But I'm sure most of you out there have been in one of those kind of games where you really feel that the team just keeps demanding more and more and more. And it's whether you can be able to deliver it as to whether you're going to be able to get through the battle. So today, as I said, I'm playing in the ST2. This is the Tier 10 Soviet double-barreled tank. It's pretty much just a worse IS-4 with the access to a second gun. Now, don't get me wrong, that access to a second gun is pretty darn useful. You can deliver 2 122mm shells at the same time, giving you 880 damage. But more importantly, what you can also do is sometimes just save a shell to stop your opponents from coming round the corner. And so you can just fire one, but not fire the second, just reload and fire it again and fire it again. And you've always got that kind of like emergency shell for if somebody decides to push you. And so it means that a lot of people don't want to all in an ST2 compared to, for example, an IS-4, which is the perfect kind of tank to all in, as long as you can manage to lock it down and get its side, which is usually quite tricky in the game these days with the durability devices and all of this track hell shenanigans going on. But still, if you can manage to penetrate an IS-4 or flank it with multiple opponents, it's a lot easier to deal with than an ST2 because of that like second threat of that shell. Now, I decided to load some heat rounds here because I bounced my shell off the Panzer VII. And the Panzer VII is a thickly armored German tank that is pretty useless as soon as you do spam gold its lower plate, or even that real big weird side weakness. But now we're going to pull back around the corner. The UDES is going to put a good round into our engine. However, unfortunately for this UDES, it looks like it's the last thing they are going to do in this game. And unfortunately, actually, no, our heat round did manage to go through the tracks there and damage. It's interesting that heat rounds are still effective against tracks. It's just if the tracks are far away from the hull, then it will be more damaging to your penetration, or it's going to absorb more of your shell than an AP shell would. But still, if the tracks are very close, or the tracks are thin, in the case of the UDES there, then you can still just go through tracks and also still damage the hull behind with your high explosive anti-tank rounds. So this is just control in this situation. You can see I'm only firing one, although really I would have liked to have seen me maybe fire the second one at the side of the ST, not the A phase 1 turret when they managed to come around the corner. And am I going to fire the extra one here? I'm just still holding on for those shells. It's like, if you do fire, then you don't have the opportunity to deliver the double afterwards. But it's a real tricky thing in a double-barreled tank. It's a bit like an auto-reloader, as in if you fire, you're interrupting all of that progress. And considering the shell preparation of this tank is 5 seconds, which is crazy because I can reload in like 10 seconds in this tank. So you're literally losing half an entire shell worth of reload progress. AKA, I only have to wait for an extra 4.5 seconds after my 5-second intra-clip reload before I just get the entire shell back. So you're basically lowering your effective damage per minute in this tank from its like 2,400 all the way down to like 1,600 if you are playing the game like that. Oh, another contender approaches. I'm going to save my repair kit here, worried that the UDES was going to retract me. And I feel like I'm pretty safe. I know that the 50 TP isn't going to reload. Hopefully this Panzer VII isn't going to clack my lower plate, but he does. Kind of wish I hadn't used the repair kit there. So that I had used the repair kit to avoid the Panzer VII. But in this situation, I still feel like I'm pretty much under control. And the worst thing that can happen is you use that repair kit and then you get ammo-racked or you get tracked again. And I'm landing those shells out. And I think you see for the first time this game that I actually decide to fire twice. Because of course, you should fire twice if you've got a substantial amount of downtime. If you know that you're going to be able to reload for at least 10 seconds or 20 seconds to be able to get both the shells back in the tank, you should fire. This was just the perfect example of that. One of the most annoying things about the ST2, however, is that you can't really switch the shells that quickly. And if you've got two, you can't just go back to AP for what you want, and so you end up losing a lot more credits than you would do. But, ladies and gents, boys and girls, finally a double happens. 5 minutes of just playing control, single, 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 single. We release the double at the perfect opportunity, allowing us to finish off the Panzer VII in a single salvo. And that is what the double is for. The double is not just there to whiff. Sure, you can have those kind of magic games. Now, I'm not going to fire there because I would have interrupted and then I wouldn't have the extra shell in the vehicle, because I think I can deliver it before I would be able to reload. But yeah, the double isn't there just to whiff, apart from when you have those magic games. Okay, I didn't quite think I was going to be able to get the double in there, but the 50 TP actually got tracked by my friend, and it looks like I might have been able to get that shell out. Also, one massive tip I have for all of you double barrel users out there. You must do this. Trust me, you just must do it. If you still have the double on holding down your mouse button, change it. Change it right now. And the reason for that is that it's impossible, if you want to cancel a double, to release the mouse and then click quickly, because there's like this, it's almost like even half a second of lag for the game registering that you've released the mouse button. You want to click it again to fire a single. However, if you bind it to a button, for example, on the side of your mouse, or if you have it on a key like I do, I have it on my C key, and then everyone's going to be saying, oh, but how do you reload your autoloaders? Well, I have it on my V key instead, so there's less like finger fumbling, because the last thing that you want is to accidentally reload, and I find the V keys more useful for me. So I use the C key for the shell preparation. And so, then, just like you saw, oh, beautiful shot into the side of the chieftain there, have to interrupt there. Just as you saw, what you can do is you can release the key on your mouse, or the side button on your mouse, or release the key on the keyboard, and you can instantly fire a single shot. So please, ladies and gents, boys and girls, you must rebind away from the left mouse button and have it on a different button. Okay, so in this situation, I'm going to do something that's a little bit weird. Watch my speedometer just over towards my left here. We went from 9 kilometers an hour up to 13, up to 11 for a little bit there. Yes, that's right, firing backwards with a double in this tank does speed you up. And do you know why I did that? Because I'm doing everything I can to be able to try and win this battle. We have 3 people capping us. We have 17 seconds to be able to get back towards the cap circle, and I'm fully focused on that. Oh my god, there's an FV215B. And you can see that I'm not even planning on firing because I thought that I might need the second shell there. Luckily, it looks like one of the enemy team just drove out the cap circle and reset. And unfortunately for my friend in the A Phase 1, shout out to you for being able to get this far in the battle. They are the fall guy against the FV. You can see the FV's now planning on shooting me in the backside, so I'm going to use the Conqueror to avoid the FV, but I have to interrupt with 6 seconds left, 5 seconds left, 4 seconds left, 3. We get the interrupt on the Progetto, 51 base defense points. The E4 manages to kill the FV215B, 183 behind me, and now I'm hopefully going to get a shot into the artillery, get another 17 base defense points, and now hopefully try and find the other artillery, but unfortunately I get shut down. But now I've given my team the information as to who has the cap, and the artillery leaves the cap circle, I guess, trying to get the shot on the UDES who shot the Progetto instead of the artillery in that scenario. And I'm just hoping that my team are going to be able to get us across the finish line here, because we tried so hard and did everything that we possibly could. We fired backwards a double shell up the slope to give us the extra few seconds to be able to interrupt the cap circle. We held that extra shell against the FV, although we did put 1 shell in against the FV, which was actually instrumental, because I believe the FV would have probably shot me if the E4 didn't finish him off. So, dang, it really shows you that your plays in World of Tanks, if you have one of those moments of clarity, and trust me, I don't always play like this where everything seems to have gone right and I've done everything right in the scenario, but with those moments of clarity and doing absolutely everything that you can turn what would be a guaranteed loss for your team into a huge victory. I was absolutely chuffed with this battle, and to have those kind of like 5 seconds left, meaning that that double up the slope actually mattered. It's like everything that you can possibly do to be able to get back quicker, and with the very interesting mechanic of firing double backwards in the ST2, that might have given us just those little extra seconds to be able to take this battle down. This week, I've probably had one of my worst weeks in World of Tanks. I had a Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday stream, and all of them, I found myself just disappointing myself with my results. And sure, sometimes it can just be World of Tanks putting you in those impossible to win situations. But today, I really want to get back to focusing on just doing everything that I possibly can, and I'm gonna hopefully stick it to World of Tanks, although we'll see how much my defiance lasts when I get into the World of Tanks meat grinder of a matchmaker. But hopefully this video will give you a little bit of inspiration to not give up. And really, the only way that you're going to be able to win more of your battles is to make more plays that you call upon yourself as to what can you do? Can you do everything possible in this battle to win it, both for yourself and also for the team? So an ace tanker here for the ST2 for our 1,378 base experience points. We get a high caliber for that 7,700 damage, securing a Confederate medal for damaging at least 6 opponents that were subsequently killed by our allies, as well as confirming 4 just for ourselves. I'm surprised I didn't get a defender medal. Oh, yeah, I was 2 defense points short. But sometimes it's not about the medal or the medals, right? You know that you have made those tiny little plays that significantly affect the outcome. And while this isn't my biggest or best game in World of Tanks of late, this one really reinforced to me once again that you've got to do absolutely everything that you can as the only constant in all of your battles to win. And while a lot of the times it's not going to matter, it's going to be in vain, but even changing the outcome of 1 in 100 battles will give you that extra win percentage that maybe you're craving. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was it for today. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching this video as it goes live on Friday, it's time for the final weekend of token drops. And so just a PSA, if any of you have the tokens from the monthly Twitch drop store, you must spend them in the next 10 days. Otherwise, they will disappear. Go spend them inside the game, otherwise it's wasted value. And as today will be the final set of new drops, after you've claimed all of the ones today, you aren't going to be getting any more. So, have a lovely weekend, whatever all of you get up to. I'm going to be enjoying the World of Tanks battlefield, giving it my all. So, thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon.